Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I am El Fakador Laurie Blake, and coming up on this edition of News Super Mario Bros, the countdown to whatever it is the Young Bucks are up to, Impact Wrestling is up for sale, and is Impact Wrestling set to get sexier? 2 smoke shows? Maybe. But first, it's the news that Jay White has been officially anointed as the new leader of the Bullet Club by that naughty boy, Tama Tonga. And all it took was one simple tweet. Jay White is now the leader of the hashtag Bullet Club. No forms, no swearing in, no patches. What kind of a gang is this? He followed it up with, "Take the lead. We trust you." For those who aren't up to date with the many betrayals of the Bullet Club, both on the way in and on the way out, then Jay White joined up with them at New Japan's King of Pro Wrestling event in October. In the space of just 3 months, is now the leader of the club and set to face Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Kingdom on January the 4th. This naturally drew some ire from a select set of fans who, I don't know, assumed the Bullet Club had a flat leadership structure. But Tama Tonga is not exactly the sort to sit idly by and let people trash talk his club and its decisions. He posted a video telling people that the choice made sense. With Jay White in, we got one man covering the direct route to the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. He then says that with their current members, they've got someone covering each and every title in New Japan. Kinda makes sense. He then bangs on about a lettuce wrap he had at PF Chang's and goes to the supermarket so he can make it at home. To be honest, I would watch a Tama Tonga cooking series. The Bullet Club Frying Squad. The Pudding Club. The induction of Jay White into the club and Tama's various beefs on Twitter with everyone from New Japan management to Roman Reigns has been a great way to help the Bullet Club stay relevant after Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks and Adam Page and Marty Scurll splintered off to form the Elite properly. And they are properly elite now because they won't even be selling their Bullet Club wrestling event conquering t-shirts from January the 7th. So grab a bit of wrestling history while you can, folks. Another ploy that the remaining club is using to stay relevant, though, is a party? The Bullet Club announced at Korakuen Hall that they will be hosting a tailgate party in New Jersey on Sunday, April 7th next year. And yes, that's when WrestleMania 35 will be taking place at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Cannot wait to see which WWE staffer gets fired for taking photos this year. An annual tradition. The party sounds like a joke, but apparently isn't. The event's even got its own official Twitter account that said, "This isn't some invade the parking lot and throw up a tent event. This is going to be at a real venue where we call the shots, so be ready for a real party." It's also being sponsored by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, a Baltimore restaurant who claim to be Maryland's authority on crab cakes. So that's yet more fuel on the Tama Tonga cooking show fire then. Tama Tonga's also been inviting certain YouTubers to the party. Not us. Cultaholic. And then he started a Twitter beef with the folks over at What Culture Wrestling, which frankly has saved us a lot of work if we do a MediaCon too, saying, "Should we ban What Culture from the block party? You decide. Ban those sorry bastards, or f*** them." And he even offered Simon Miller of the Ups and Downs a different choice, a rock and a hard place. Personally, I think he should take the job. Why? It's pretty obvious, really. Over on the other side of the fence, WWE hasn't exactly had a fantastic end of year. There's been plenty of complaints about how the product is produced, record low viewership for the programming, as Raw on Monday had just 1.775 million viewers, and now there's even been a drop-off of fan support at live events. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, WWE's Christmas house show at Madison Square Garden drew 11,900 fans, which is the smallest audience in quite some time for this annual event. Add on top of that an event at the Allstate Arena, which is just outside Chicago, which would usually draw somewhere in the range of 10,000 fans during downtimes like Christmas, but only managed to entice 6,000 audience members. So it seems like even the tactical deployment of the McMahon family hasn't saved WWE just yet. Don't worry, folks. Lars Sullivan's on his way, though. He'll save the day. Just as soon as he's finished creepily lurking. Another man who could save the company, had they not booked him into oblivion when he was set to be the coolest thing ever, is Bray Wyatt. Bray made his first appearance since Starrcade at a WWE live event last night in Columbus, Ohio, defeating everyone's favourite punching bag, Bazza Corbs, in a no disqualification match. Bray was last seen on WWE TV when he and Matt Hardy were tag team champions on Raw, which feels like a very long time ago when the tag team titles might have meant something. And since then, he's been away from the ring, recovering from injuries. He's also been teasing a change to his character of some sort through his Twitter account, but last night he looked pretty much like the old Bray Wyatt. So then we'll probably have to wait until his actual TV return to see the new speculated gimmick in action. Someone else who is basically a gimmick in action is Enzo Amore, who hasn't finished with his WWE related stunts, even though he no longer works there. Enzo, or Nzo, depending on how much of a twat you are, appeared at the West Side Comedy Club in New York on Wednesday. But before all that, he decided to hang around outside Madison Square Garden, where that WWE live event we were talking about earlier took place. He took pictures with a bunch of fans outside the venue while looking like Dappy from N-Dubs, which, for the benefits of our viewers outside the UK, is not cool. Not cool. Later in the night at the comedy club, he also broke his very relative silence, for him anyway, over his invasion of Survivor Series, saying, "Why did I do it? It had nothing to do with my music. I'll tell you why I did it. Because I knew for a fact that Vince McMahon would hate it more than anything in the world, but he would respect the out of it. That's why I did it. Because it was about one person and that was it. Because I proved to him that I could beat him at his own game of statistics and numbers and this and that and the other, and I don't even work for your company." I think, realistically, despite all this huffing and puffing and the big I ams, he just wants to be a wrestler again. So, if you can cast your mind back far enough, back past at least 50 matches between Baron Corbin and Finn Balor, there was a time where everyone was speculating about who would be appearing at this little independent show called All In. One of the top names on that list, and one teased repeatedly by the Bucks and Cody, was Neville, aka Pac, aka Busted Pac. Well, Sami Zayn is a long-time pal of Pac, and on a recent appearance on Talk is Jericho, he got chatting with Chris about Nev. Jericho said that Neville had turned down an offer to appear at All In. They tried to get him to go to All In like Over the Top, and he wouldn't do it. He wanted to make his debut with Dragon Gate. Zayn then added that Neville has never been an overly money-driven guy. That's why maybe he didn't fit in with the WWE system very much, because the culture here is very overly ambitious, and money and success and that has to be what it takes to get you to the next level, and he's never really been like that. So he went back because he's a loyal guy and he always just loved wrestling for Dragon Gate, so he went straight back to Dragon Gate. Zayn also revealed that wrestling isn't actually Neville's dream job, saying, "It's so funny how there's millions that dream of being in our position, and his dream is being a postman. Postman Pac, Postman Pac, Postman Pac and his black and white cat. Pac says he's a really bastard man." Sometimes it just writes itself. Speaking of special deliveries, the Young Bucks and Cody have one coming up in January. And now Matt Jackson has cryptically posted a countdown clock on Twitter with the caption, "Who's ready?" The countdown is set to expire at 12 AM PST on January 1st, so Matt is either a massive New Year fan, or this is the announcement of what the guys are up to once their contracts actually expire. And if it is the much rumoured All Elite Wrestling promotion, I'm sure plenty of wrestlers will be ringing in the new year singing, "Old Lang Syne, please lads." Someone else reportedly looking to make a deal with All Elite Wrestling, if that is its real name, is Impact. Impact had just moved channel from Pop TV to Pursuit, which is owned by their parent company Anthem. But the Wrestling Observer newsletter has revealed that before this deal came about, there were forces attempting to sell Impact to All Elite Wrestling just a few months ago, even though I guess people weren't really sure it actually existed. Especially back then, as a few months ago would have been before the trademarks were filed for AEW, as that only happened in early November. As the Observer pointed out, and you can no doubt guess, the proposal was declined, and now Impact is on Pursuit. Which is sad, but by no means a bad thing, especially as Don Callis reckons it will herald in a new era for Impact. On his Killing the Town podcast, he said, "A lot of fans thought, wow, you guys should be on a different network with a different demographic. So we announced this week we're moving to Pursuit, which is an exciting thing for me." When you talk about how you deal with your content as a company, because our parent company Anthem owns not only the Fight Network and Game TV, they also own a significant stake in Pursuit. It's a great strategic move for us, and I think people are going to love to see a sexier, edgier, maybe even a little more hardcore Impact Wrestling. I'm really pumped about that. Sexier, edgier, more hardcore? What's the Attitude Era doing in the Impact Zone? Either way, it's good news, because Impact has been making a name for itself this year as a more mature, skewed form of wrestling, mostly thanks to Sami Callihan and his refusal to use any tool for its intended purpose. Who were the 10 best wrestlers of 2018? Is the list just Becky Lynch 10 times? The only way to find out is to click the video on screen now and give us a subscribe to stay up to date with all of the latest wrestling news. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.